is up, Ham Radio? Kilo Echo 8, Papa Zoo November, the Ham Radio Adventure Guy. Thanks for stopping by. Your one stop for everything adventure, radio, and noise. It is Hump Day, time for the Hump Day Happy Hour, and I know I am echoing. I am in a new studio. I was trying it out tonight, and right now I've got an echo issue, but we'll have to deal through it tonight because I can't help it.
We have tested it extensively, and it is the least possible echo you can put out.
You have an echo?
I got an echo for these Patreons.
Whoa.
These guys right here deserve an echo because they're awesome. They help keep me going in each and every endeavor of my adventures. And, these people are my family. They're more than Patreons. I spend more time with these guys between POTA and chill pads and after chats and stuff than I do with my own family. So, big shout out to these guys. Matter of fact, one of these guys, and I'll talk about it right here in a little bit, will be activating with me tomorrow. And then we're going to thank these guys right here. Still need to fill up this list a whole lot more, but they're just as important. Thank you very much to each and every YouTube member. And then we move over to the ever-changing board. So Steven pops back in front of India Charlie Papa for the 2 spot. And then we stay the same for a little bit. And then out of nowhere, Kilo Bravo Niner, Juliet Quebec Uniform Stroke Whiskey 4 pops into the other side. And Kilo Niner Alpha Echo Echo pulls into that 10th spot with an off-stream donation. Thank you very much for that donation, Kent. All right.
You really shouldn't let me do graphics around here. I go stupid sometimes.
I know.
Niner, Juliet Quebec Uniform Stroke Whiskey 4.
It's hard to get good help, guys.
Yeah.
Anyway, what's going on, Hayden?
Oh, not too much. Had a great weekend. Hope everybody enjoyed your Thanksgiving. We had a good time. Was up at the camper, had the station going, and I've been tweaking the Eagle One on the back of the camper in the hitch. So I'm up to 2 radials now, and it seems to be doing a lot better with the camper, the clamp on the camper, and the radial. So pretty pleased with it.
Thank you very much for the super chat, Chris. And he was not a genius at first, and then me and him had an argument one night.
Yeah.
And I straightened him out really quickly, and he's been really good ever since.
Well, he has not been good tonight. That's why he sent that. Somebody asked if it was if it's good to activate during a live stream, and the bot came back and said, "Oh, that would be a most noble cause."
Well, you know what? It is a noble cause. Because when you activate during a live stream, you are supposed to pay the king's tax. So during your activation, you should be popping into the live stream and pay the king's tax. Stephen has this down to an art. He knows what to do. So
sure does.
You guys are blurry. All of us are blurry.
No, we're not blurry. He needs to adjust his resolution. It's not blurry on my end.
I was going to say,
is that any better?
I was going to say, everybody looks pretty crisp on my end.
Crisp. So fresh and so clean.
So I can guarantee, even though that I have an echo, I'm not blurry from the internet because I got some very high-speed internet in this studio. And it's pretty cool because I'll go ahead and tell you how to find this studio. If you're ever randomly driving around and searching Wi-Fi and you see HRAG Central, you're close to my studio.
That's right.
There you go.
Oh, anyway, I did see Mike in the chat, and I want I want to give Mike a shout out for his video today. And the reason why I'm going to give him a shout out about this video is because it kind of started last week in the chat here, joking around, and it was good to see that video.
Mike wants to direction find the H-Reg studio. Yeah, and if you haven't watched Mike's video yet, it's in the video. I posted it in the video center Discord.
There's an inherent problem. You cannot direction find the H-Reg studio because that would imply that he transmits from his studio, and we all know that dog don't hunt.
Well, actually, you probably could find the H-Reg studio if you was to direction find me while I'm activating Kilo 1810, because this new studio is about 300 yards from Kilo 1810. So,
so it's not Mingo Net. That's outside the coverage of Mingo Net.
Mingo Nut?
Net.
And you did that by the Mingo Net. You kind of check on that radio to our head.
How much power is that putting out?
Yeah.
I bet it's in West Virginia too, Mike. It's really simple. Just go find Kilo 1810, and I'm not far from there. Here's the thing: 7 minutes was too far for me to drive and get set up at 1810. I would much rather do it in like 2 minutes.
You're gonna have a footpath drawn out here soon.
If I had one of those KH1s, I would have it made, because I would just start walking after the stream. I'd walk 300 yards, and as soon as I entered the park, I'd start calling CQ. I
need to find somebody that has actually used one that has a positive review on
it. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I wanted one, but considering there's a wait time on it, I don't want it no more.
Eddie sent some Mingo nuts.
Hey, thank you very much for the $5 Mingo nut chat there, Eddie. But here's the thing. I'm not going to wait on a radio. I want it while it's new, so I can put out a few videos on it while it is new. I'm not going to wait, 6, 7, 8 weeks, and everybody's done seen every video imaginable about it. So, it is what it is. Why put out a radio if you're going to go behind fixing it? It's just, I don't know. Frustration. Somebody's blowing up my phone. So I'm hoping to just buy me a coffee.
I'm your Uncle Terry.
But of course not, it's the Discord. Discord is a very handy place to have, and I think I need to turn off my notifications while I stream there. I leave my phone volume on in case somebody hits to buy me a coffee. But normally by the buy me a coffee hits, Discord's done wore me plumb out, and I don't even look at it anymore. But anyway, tonight we're going to talk about power. And what kind of power, you say? Yes, that is the answer. We're talking about any kind of power y'all want to talk about, because my guest backed out tonight, but I have a really cool one next week. And I'm not going to say who, but it's going to be a really cool one. But we're going to talk about power, and one of the reasons why I want to talk about it is Dan. Dan, you know what? My guest for tonight is Dan.
Hey, how you doing, guys? It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Terry thought that it'd be interesting to have Dan on the string.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. No, first time here. Yeah, thank you.
So Dan is Mr. Power, and I'm going to say that in every way possible, because how many watts does he use? All of them.
I use the minimum. I use the minimum amount of power necessary to affect the conversation.
And how much power does he have to run in the field? All of it.
A lot.
I mean, So no matter what power we're going to talk about, we can talk about Dan. But Dan, here's my real question.
Oh, there's that kind of power.
Oh,
So here's my thing. I myself am a bioenner snob. You know, I have used them since the beginning of my POTA, and you know they just work. I can do Rove as long as I want. I can do anything I want. And yes, I know there's a lot cheaper batteries, but I also hear about people complaining, I only got 500 contacts on a 20 watt amp hour battery. Well, there's something wrong with that 20 amp hour battery, is all I can tell you, because I get way more than 500 contacts. But I am curious, Dan, because you have 60 amp hours of bioenno, just like I do.
I do.
I wish it was closer. It's laying over in the floor. But we both have 60 amp hours of bioenno power. And, you know, I can go out and just absolutely kill the world on POTA on that battery and never get close to, you know, draining that thing. And Dan has the same batteries, but he decides he's going to go out and get a 100 watt hour battery.
Amp hour.
100 amp hour. I'm sorry, 100 amp hour. What in the first? What was behind all this? Why did you need 100?
It's a hell of a deal. That's one.
It's a nice round number.
Yeah, they're having the deal through tomorrow. So, and yeah, why not?
Do you have a link for that deal, Dano?
No, I don't. But I'm sure David. Basically, a whole bunch of us in Discord picked up his battery from it's a Redodo. Hey, I call them doo-doos. It's a Redodo, a Redodo battery. It's the mini 100 amp hour. So it's a smaller form factor. They use folded cells, I believe. And I've drained it from fully charged once, just testing it out. And it lasted, it ran my radio here at the house with my hunting for like 2.5 days. Nice. And my 7610 is not a cheap, you know, power draw too, because my radio powers my tuner. So sitting idle, it's about 2.5 amps an hour. So it's nothing. It's not a light draw on it.
So 2.5 days on 100 hours. Now, have you ever used your 60 amp hour and did the same thing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I don't remember exactly what it was. But I did that when I first built the box, my 60 amp hour box. Mm-hmm. I did drain it all the way. One thing, I haven't read the manual for this new battery. I don't know what the VMS cutoff is, but I can tell you my 7610 cut off before the battery did, which I don't know. So on my little cheap battery meter, I had it dipping down to 10 volts and the battery still didn't cut off. So I'm not sure where the battery cutoff is in the VMS. So I didn't have anything else to hook up to it to actually draw power and find out where it shut off. So.
Wait. Your battery was down to 10 volts.
Yeah. When
your radio cut off.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. So somebody better throw a super chat in there right now, because I'm going to say something. If that is legitimately true, I have found something that ICOM is better than Yaesu at, because there's no way a Yaesu will run on that. I
want to say my 891 cuts off at like 11.5 or something, 11.5, something like that. I didn't experience any dipping. It dipped naturally when you key down. I was doing tests at 100 watt ready just on a key, just to see how much the voltage sagged down when you keyed. All batteries are going to sag a tad. Not bad at all. It sagged at most 0.5 volt, even when it was like at 11 volts, sagging to 10.5. It was nice constant curve right there. But I don't have any super fancy battery testing things I can hook hook it up to and draw a constant charge. Like Jason 2.0 does battery test, and he has that nice software that he uses. I don't have anything like that. I just hook my radio up to it and run until it dies. I do a real world test, not a constant pull test.
So you don't have an estimate even close what the 60 amp hours did?
I'd say it's hard to say because I was running it through this cheap little inline meter, right? And this cheap little inline meter does not have the same functionality as the meters that I put in our boxes. I don't get actual run time on it. I get the amount that's used. And these particular meters, by the way, if anybody's interested in them, if you're going to pick one up, most of them roll over at 65 amps of usage. So if you pull more than 65 amps, your counter is going to reset to 0. So just keep that in mind.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm probably going to do another test and actually run it through a new box I'll build so I can have an actual better accurate meter on there. And that'll give me the run time as well.
So the link to that battery and some other ones is in the chat right now.
And that's what I'm saying right there, what Mike just said. I'm curious if your cheap meter actually had that right, because 10 volts, that's really low to be running
I thought
a radio
that
that big.
I thought that too. The meter said 10, and the meter on the ICOM itself said like 10.3-ish. So this might have a Chinese discrepancy of, a quarter of a volt, something like that. That's not very accurate, but
even 10.3, that is absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Now it didn't do anything. I mean, it would just sit there idle. But as soon as you keyed up, it would just shut off. I mean, you couldn't do anything but look at it.
Okay. So you know what? How long had it been since you actually keyed up? How many volts was it the last time you keyed up without it shutting off?
Like 11.3, 11.4, something like that.
That's still good. That's still real good.
Yeah.
Because mine will run a whole lot longer just running the radio, but the second I key up,
now that's 11.3, 11.4, give or take the inaccuracy of this. So it could have been 11.5, 11.7. I'll know a lot more once I can get it on a more accurate meter. The actual meters that I put in the box that I built and the box that I built I've actually checked that against my Fluke, and it's pretty daggone spot on.
Yeah, I'd like to hear what it actually shuts off at a better meter. Because now I'm really curious about that.
But why did I get it? To answer your question,
yes.
Why do people climb mountains, dude? Because they're there.
Did you get it for the same reason I get QRP radios?
Well, if you think, all right, so the maximum continuous discharge rate on this battery is 100 amps. So I could theoretically, per their literature, pull 100 amps for an hour straight. The maximum momentary for 5-second discharge rate is 250 amps. So one could probably say you could run a DC powered amplifier on this battery. Hello, Parks on the air. Is your neck going to move in on me? Not today.
What made you stop at 100?
Because of just the carryability factor. This doesn't weigh any more than my dual. Well, I'm sorry, it weighs like maybe 1 pound more than my dual Biono 30s.
Okay. I was just curious. I see the 410 and I'm thinking, wow.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
But yeah, who knows? I get an amp.
Yeah.
It's it's to me, it's kind of like the same thing. I don't need 1,500 watts to make a contact.
Yeah.
But it would be nice to have 1,500 watts.
Can you imagine?
If I wanted to activate on 7,200 and somebody had an amp in the park.
Can you imagine being out at a park with this? With just like a little 300 watt amp with the Eagle One on 40 meters? Oh my God. You'd slay it. I mean, the Eagle One is already a 40 meter slayer.
That's a good point too, Mike. It's got a
yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's
10-year lifetime.
I am a Bioenno fanboy. Let's go ahead and say that right now. I'm not a fucking, excuse me, I'm not a Retutu, person. I'm a Bioenno person. I mean, I swear by Bioenno. My QRP batteries are Bioenno. I got 230 Bioennos. I love Bioenno. If I had to buy a battery to trust my life with, it's going to be a Bioenno, not the Redodo. But we'll see. I mean, I don't know what their return policy is or their warranty or anything. I haven't even looked.
Well, I can tell you, Bioennos will honor that 10-year warranty too.
Yeah.
They're great. They stand behind their stuff, and I mean, obviously, they're going to work.
David says Redodo has a 5-year warranty. So.
Oh well, this is on the website. It's saying 10-year lifetime.
Okay. I mean, even if it's just 5, I mean, if I get 5 years out of it, I mean, that's fine with all the discharges we're going to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if it lasts 5 years with the abuse that we put them through, as far as, surge amperage on, key down and everything else we do to them, the hot and cold in and out of the car, all this mess. If you get 5 years out of one, I think you got good life out of it. Just me though.
Yeah, listen. If I get 5 years out of a Redodo, I would be amazed. But I guarantee you, I wouldn't get that many out of it.
Yeah,
because I definitely put them to the test.
The recommended charge amperage for this 100 amp hour is 20 amps an hour. I don't charge it at 20 amps an hour. I've been under the belief for a long time that the slower you can charge a battery, the better, for the battery. I charge it at 10 amps. I could hook it up to my 6 amp charger, but it gets a little bit hot even just doing that. So I use my Noco Genius. I got a 4-port 10.
Mr. Golf Alpha Romeo, he was charging his on 2 amp.
When he first got it, so it comes like half charged, right? And David was trying to Golf Alpha Reese Cup when he plugged in his 2 amp charger to it. I was wondering why it never showed green. So it probably doesn't have enough to top it off the float right. He said he got his 10 amp charger in the mail and hooked it up, and like just a couple minutes later, it said, "All right, charged." Can you imagine recharging this thing on a 2 amp charger and that's all you had? Oh my goodness. I don't know where Redodos are made. If I had to guess, it would be overseas, much like everything else.
Now, but they want me to spin a wheel.
I mean, to be honest, I wouldn't be a bit surprised if most of your major battery vendors get their cells from the same place overseas and just rebrand them. And that one factory might make them do a little bit different specifications for that company, but might be the same place. You never know.
It doesn't say on their website, but they got a U.S. flag on it.
Yeah. A good channel to check out. He's in the chat. Is the ham radio tube with K8MRD. He does a lot of battery teardowns and shows you the inside guts of them and everything else. It's really interesting.
He also builds battery boxes as well.
He builds the geeks, big geek, little geek. Built his own little battery pack too. Sometimes he'll show it on his channel. Nice little thing. So yeah, I'm definitely not the person to be talking about batteries. Go to somebody better than me. I know when they work, when they don't work, when they don't explode, and when they explode.
No, I just sort of put you on the spot because I'm just curious. how much power do we really need? And I don't think you needed it. That's why I was curious why you
No,
decided to get more, because I know for a fact what you got, and it's amazing.
the more, yeah, you're right, and it's always good for contingency too. If you're facing an extended power outage at the house and you need to power your radio, something like that.
Oh yeah.
The more battery, the better. Even if you have a generator, But no, I mean, the more you think about it, well, the more we talk about it here, the more that mobile DC powered amp sounds like something to try.
Mike's
All
happy
right.
with 5 amp hours.
Yeah. Mike, I think you should get one of these and run your KX2 off of it and let us know how long you can go.
1 year.
I think you'd get more. I think you'd get more than that. All right. So now we'll go on to the other power. And again, we're going to pick on Dan. So I mean, how much power do you need? I mean, I think it's 83 watts. 83 watts will do anything you want to do.
No.
But
Well,
Mike that just popped in the chat would say 5 watts will do anything you want to do.
80
And
5 watts will do anything you want to do with the right antenna.
and the right conditions. So one can do more in bad conditions with a kilowatt than one can do in bad conditions with 5 watts. That's just not, I mean, that's just the way the game's played, right?
Yep.
If conditions are just excellent, your 5 watts can be just as good as somebody's kilowatt.
The conditions would have to be excellent for the 5 watts myself. I know they'll do great. They do great on CW.
Oh, yeah.
But as far as sideband, sometimes there's a struggle. I don't never struggle to get activated, but 5 watts can be a struggle. But then you got the other people that they just run 500, 600, 700 watts every time they key up their radio, and
Yeah.
I mean,
Watt. Okay, so my normal wattage to me, 1 depends on band, 2 depends on time of day. Like right now on 40 meters, I will rarely run over like 200 watts. Very rarely.
so
I don't need
so
it.
my 30-meter CW pileup today. How many watts did you run to get through?
The only time I worked you on 30 today, I was remote, and I don't use my amp remote, so it was 100 or less.
Okay, I was just curious because
It was. I can guarantee it wasn't over 200.
This is why I'm curious, because everybody was coming through there on top of each other, and you couldn't hear nothing, and then you came in on top of them, and you were super loud, and I just started laughing because I figured, I was like, he's pushing big watts.
No. Let's see, how many watts did I work you today, Mike? That was on 20 meters in the evening, probably about 600, I would say. But right now, all right, so right now, like if I was trying to get an activator on 40 meters on the East Coast right now, I wouldn't need more than 200. Just the time of day. Now, if you're in West Virginia at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on 40 meters, I'm going to need like 900 just so you hear me.
Really?
So it depends on the time of day, the band. Right now on 20 meters, if I'm working anything but west, I'm going to need more power. Like right now, almost the East Coast on 20 meters is dead to me right now, unless I'm running super duper power. But going west, I could work California right now with probably 100 watts. Just the way the band shifts this time of day. So.
Mike wants to know how many watts you were running when you got him today.
I just told him probably about 600. Yeah. But yeah, it has a lot to do with antenna too. It's not. I always tell people when they build out their shack even their mobile rigs, your POTA setups, start with your antenna first. Get an antenna that's good, that's efficient, and then build yourself backwards to your radio. There's no use of getting an amplifier and running 1.5 kilowatts if your antenna sucks. It's not going to do anything but make your antenna suck a little bit less.
I, I don't know. I know the wattage has got to help, but
wattage, it does help. It helps cut through pileups for a sideband. Now for CW, I guess it could help, but what I find cuts through pileups better on CW is not the amount of power you push, not your meter reading to the other person, but the pitch. So if you can, the pitch. So if you can not zero beat, do not zero beat the activator. Make your pitch different. You could be an S2 and everybody else be an S9, and the activator can pick you out better because you're not blended in with all the other signals.
Absolutely. And if you know your activator, know what he likes too, because a lot of people prefer lower pitches.
Yeah.
Some people prefer higher pitches, and if you figure out what he likes, try to hit him in different ways and see how quickly he responds. And that'll make a big difference for sure. That's like somebody commented on one of my videos and said, why's your radio sound like a fourth grader playing a kaleidoscope or something? Because that's what my ears like to decode.
Yeah.
That's why,
Well, I mean, some of your CW activations, I mean, I've heard them in person. They sound like FT8. I mean, it's ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, it's. I mean, definitely power helps, but don't think it's the end all, the answer for all of your problems. Start with your antenna.
Just the difference between 5 watts and 100 watts makes a huge difference for me.
Well, yeah, I mean, when you think about it, I mean, if you do the dB calculation, thanks, Stephen. The difference between 5 watts and 10 watts is double the power. So what's that? 3 dB, 6 dB? Is it 3 or 6?
I don't know that one screen, Dan.
Thanks for the super chat, Stephen. And that would have been the pop-up I was talking about there, Dan.
Yeah. I mean, you had a hellacious pile up on 30 today. And maybe I just tail ended it right at the right time, but I know I tried at least a dozen times to get through it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and couldn't. And finally I decided I listened to the madness, listened to the train wreck, listened to the other train wreck on the other tracks that were coming in. And then I listened to those two trains hitting each other, and you had some more train wreck. And then when that was over, I waited a little bit, and then you didn't respond to anybody, and then I threw my calls out.
Well, that's not when your call sign came through.
Yeah, I mean, I tried that a couple of times too, but yeah, I must have tried you a dozen times easy.
Somebody really ticked me off because I'm sitting there trying to pick out people. And I get a couple of letters, and I think I got somebody, and I'm getting ready to send, and then I hear somebody starting to send a signal report on top of that.
Yeah,
and I'm like, they're working somebody else, and I just held all the dits down. I just all the way through their signal report, and then when I got done, I hit CQ again.
Yeah.
I'm like, you wasn't working nobody because I didn't get
I was wondering who was holding down the dits. Okay, so it was you. I thought it was somebody messing with you.
Yeah, that was literally me to get whoever's attention.
Yeah.
Hey, you're not working me. Whoever you think you're working, you're not working me.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's definitely a mess.
No, but what did they say in the in your license exams? Always use the minimum amount of power necessary to
to make the contact.
Yeah, to make the contact. So the problem is when you're in a quick exchange type of scenario, you don't know what that minimum power is. And I'm not going to start at 5 watts and work up and try to find it. You know what I mean?
Well, use the most power to establish contact, and then you can pull it back if you're going to continue it.
Well, yeah, but you're talking about hunting POTA. I mean, you're just giving a signal report, right? So,
you want the best signal report you can get.
Did it take me 1,500? I don't know. I mean, that may have been what I used.
Oh, yeah. Brent says that test pull was before POTA.
There was a lot of things on there before POTA, obviously. But,
yeah.
No, I mean, I could probably count literally on, since I've been doing POTA a little over a year now, I can probably count on both hands and both feet the number of times that I've had my amp over 1,200 watts. I mean, really, it's not very often. I mean, you figure 20, maybe 25 times in a year, and as many QSOs as I go. Yeah,
not over 1,200.
No, over.
Never over 1,200.
But I'm licensed up to 15.
Oh, is that what the limit is?
Yeah. But
I don't remember.
Yeah, I mean, 99.99% of the time, it's between 200 and 400. Just enough to give me a little punch over somebody barefoot. I mean, it's really not atrociously that much of a difference. Maybe an S unit and a half, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I mean, listen, I like my people that have amps, you know. That way, when people start trying to run me off of frequencies and starting their jamming and stuff, all them guys will come in there, you know, 700, 800 watts, and you know, we show them how it's done. Then so.
Somebody said that the other day. Was it PP Man? It said something like, right after I called him out of park, it started to rain. And I said, "Oh, sorry about that, bro. I kind of messed up the atmosphere when I called you."
Wow.
No, dude, you can do, Bobby. That's cool, man. I mean, you've never been over 100 watts. You can do a lot on 100 watts. I mean, just look at everything James does, and 99.9% of every activator out there in the field, they're 100 watts or less.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and David, Golf Alpha Reese Cup, did an awesome job in the plaque event. Came in second, just on my heels, 100 watts and a wire.
Yeah, you
don't need a lot.
You definitely can do it because, you know, although, you know, POTA people don't really give you correct signal reports to start with. I still can't tell you how many times daily somebody tells me, "Man, you have a good signal."
Yeah.
So, you know.
Well, I know on 20 meters during the day is ridiculous here. I mean, it sounds like you're literally in the parking lot right next to my truck.
20 meters during the day and 80 meters during the night. And I can tear up the world, you know?
Oh yeah. This time of night. I mean, this time of year too. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I mean. This time of year I do a lot of 80 this time of the year because 40, once it gets dark, it just starts to die on me or go incredibly long. And I won't say it dies, but it goes incredibly long. And I don't get the pile up from that because, you know, people out in Utah and California, they're not used to working West Virginia on 40 meters. So they're like, he's in West Virginia. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. And it seems like all the bands are going longer a lot sooner in the day now too. I got Fausto Minion down in the Dominican Republic Hotel, Indy 8 Alpha Mike on 40 meters about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, Eastern time. But yeah, power will help you. I mean, there's no doubt about that. But 100 watts no wire, that'll do you. And if you got like the Yaesu, what is it, the 101 MP, that can go 200 watts, right?
Yes.
So.
And that, you know, that's what Terry's got. Terry has an amp, but most of the time Terry is just using his 101 MP.
Yeah.
Yes, I did notice that. He sounded really good when I worked him on 60 over the weekend. It's like 60 is like almost a magic band for audio. Everything sounds different on 60.
Yeah. You know, it would be a magic band for audio. It's never going to happen. But if they ever decide to allow sideband on 30 meters,
Oh,
that would
be
be
interesting.
that would be so awesome.
I don't see it happening.
No, it's never going to happen. But I'm just saying, because 30 meters to me, a lot of people call 6 meters the magic band because it's magic when it works and it's messed up when it doesn't. But 30 meters is the awesome band.
I think it's more of the magic band because it's there 1 second and it disappears the next. I think that's what I think about 6 meter being the magic band.
Call it the David Copperfield band or something. The David Blaine band.
There you go. I worked David and Annabelle on 10 meters when they were playing on that, and that was the loudest I'd heard him. Sounded really good. I was actually surprised because they were in Florida over the weekend, weren't they?
Yeah, and I actually got them on 20. They were actually really loud on 20 meters, and it's rare. I got a couple MPs too. They're great pieces of radio accessories.
Kimbers.
They look very good sitting on top of your amplifier.
That'd be a good video. Have your 101 MP sitting there with your MP sitting on top of it. Good stuff.
But yeah, no, I mean the 83 watts you run is perfect for you. I mean, that's the number you settled on, and to be honest, if you ran more than that, I couldn't tell the difference. I mean, you're still loud. The only way I could actually tell a difference is if I had a way more accurate strength meter than the S meter on your radio.
Well, the only time it changes is pretty much when I do CW.
Yeah.
And my problem is sometimes I forget to change back from CW wattage to my 83 wattage.
That's only a different. Yeah, and that's really only a problem on like 40, 60, and 30 during the day when you're.
I've done it many times. I'm sitting there doing CW wattage on the radio and still making plenty of contact.
Like right now, if you go out to a park and run 40 meters at almost 9:15 Eastern time, and you run 33 watts, you're still going to get a pileup.
Doubtful. Now, if I do that on 60 or 80 meters right now, yeah. 40's done went long here.
Yeah.
That's the wintertime blues that you got to deal with. 40's my band, but it's not much in the winter.
I like it when it goes really long though, because you get some nice contacts.
Anyway, Hayden, what's your magic number? What do you use?
At home, I use 83 watts. And in the field, when I'm activating, it's 100. Or whenever I have the Eagle One hooked up, it's 100 watts all the way. Whenever 95. I'm at home, it's between 70 and 83, just because of the feedback I got from the crappy antenna.
Oh, I mean, I didn't talk about activating. When I'm activating, I run 95 watts. The difference between 95 and 100, absolutely nothing, if you ask me. But I just have this weird stigma that I'll never run one of my radios wide open. I mean, I'd rather set it to 99 and 100. I know it makes no damn difference whatsoever. But it's just my brain,
Now that's not true. 1 watt will make a difference, because if you take 1 watt off of PP Man, Sometimes he would be. He'd have to turn his radio off.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. That's chat. Yeah, that is true.
That's great.
I mean, yeah, but I mean that's kind of like a different use case. I mean, because he can switch his power and move the power knob, up like 5 notches, and he just gained like 12 dB.
So yeah, if I'm activating, it's 83 watts. If I'm at home, that means I've pulled my radio out of the case and it's going to be set on 83 watts.
Yeah.
So, that's what the soda stations that I hunt get. That's what the hunters that hunt me get.
Mike just said work with less. Sorry, Mike. That just cracked me up for some reason.
No.
I'll explain it in the after chat.
Oh Lord, there you go, PP man. That's
Speaking of
what the consensus say.
Speaking of the during stream time activator, I think he also runs 80 something watts on activation.
The during stream activator.
Curtis, Roger. How many watts do you run during your activation? Or everybody just put in the chat. How many watts do you run when you activate Photo?
Yes.
Yeah, let's see a bunch of numbers scroll by here. Be curious to see.
And if it's different when you activate than when you hunt, we want to know that too.
90, 150.
80-ish. Brian with 100. Brent with 50. Ed 100.
83, the magic number.
Yep. 50. Liz is 100. David's 80.
RFing around, you really use 50 watts? Is that why you rove? Is that why you rove up there and do like 100 part rove?
That's why I don't hear him anymore.
My mic says 1. 100 SSB 35 CW for Eddie.
3 Amigos 62. Or is that 602?
I think it's 602. Yeah.
So David says 83 hunting and 80 activating.
Yeah.
69 on FD8.
It's one of those weird, OCD-isms, man. It's like setting your radio to 99 instead of 100, Superstition, I guess.
And that's all 83 watts is for me. I don't even know what started the 83 watts, but it's been the magic number ever since. So
69 on FT8. Let me tell you how I burnt out an LDG tuner. Come to find out, the Z11 100 watt Pro 2 tuners by LDG, they're only rated at 35 watts digital. Figured that one out the hard way.
So 95 from the truck, 75 portable, and 100 QTH.
There you go.
I'm curious on your mindset on the switching there.
Maybe he's trying to save power portable.
Yeah, Yeah.
Maybe he should get one of them 100 amp hour poo-poo batteries.
Yeah, them doo-doo batteries.
Dodo batteries.
I wonder. Yeah, I mean, I need to do some research and figure out why they named the company that. Maybe when they go bad, you just put them in the way of the dodo.
Yeah.
Boo logic, okay. But whatever you say, bud. Whatever floats your boat. I don't know what you're talking about, James.
83 watts helps me get through BZM follow-ups because he runs 83 watts.
Yep. That's the exact same logic I use.
It's like your wattage meets in the middle and go, okay, you shall pass.
Yeah. So it's like my radio, it automatically tunes into those 83 watters.
Yeah.
Okay, hey, he's running 83 watts. Get him next.
Yeah. I don't have a dodo hat, Brent. They didn't send me one. I got some stickers.
Send a dodo hat.
Yeah, I got some dodo stickers. We can't do hats today. That's on a Sunday. We'll do another hat. What do you call it? A hat tower.
Yeah, Stephen created a very big hat tower on the stream Sunday. If you missed that, you may want to check that out.
Yeah, you would think for that they'd send me a hat, but you think having a 7610 icon would send me one too? And no, my buddy from
they practically gave you the battery. What do you want from it?
That's true. Yeah, that's. I mean, that's another point too. I think I mentioned it too. The price. I mean, you can't.
I mean, it was a good deal.
Yeah.
I personally don't need. I mean, I have my two 30 amps in my box. I have another box with a 30 amp hour in a battery. I have a 20 amp hour battery. So, I technically have over 100 watts if I wanted to take that with me, but I don't need to take that with me.
Yeah, but it's like, it's good to have something for stuff hits the fan situations, or maybe even it's kind of like, in the CW. Sure, you don't need a new Morse code key, but dang, I'd like a new Morse code key. You know what I mean? It's like just something else to throw in your bag.
I haven't jumped on the Bio-NO bandwagon yet.
They're great batteries.
Light Pro or whatever the chemistry is.
Yeah, the Bio-NOs are great batteries. I stand by them 100%. One, I know people that's had to return them because of something wrong with them, and no questions asked. Brand new.
So
swap it out.
So if stuff did hit the fan and I only had my 60 amp hour battery, as long as the sun is shining,
yeah,
I'm still
That's true.
So
that was one of the first things that I got when I started doing POTA. I went to Harbor Freight and I got a 100-watt solar kit, which I don't use anymore. But I bought that 30 amp hour battery that they recommended with the solar kit, and I've used that all the time. That's lead acid, so it's a little heavier, but
did the Harbor Freight solar kit, did it produce what it advertised it would, or was it?
Oh yeah, it worked great. Okay. When I took the time, the 15 to 20 minutes to set it all up and hook everything up, I never had to charge the battery while I had the solar panels hooked up.
I had the same thought. Mike just hit the nail on the head. Let me highlight this. I can't wait till stuff hits the fan because his noise floor at home will be gone. When the hurricane came through and knocked the power out, that was the most quiet radio 2 days or so. I was hearing stations that I haven't heard forever. I was like, oh yay.
And it'll be a lot more interesting because it'll be cool because I'll be able to go to the parks every day with an AR-15 sitting there with me,
Yeah.
You can do that now.
I can, but it's kind of overkill, Anyway, but here's the big thing. As far as battery power, if you only activate once a week or once a month, who cares what battery you get? If it's a cheap one, it's going to last you. If you activate 1,000 times a year like I do, you may want to be a battery snob and only use Bio-NO. It's what you need. Just like, if you activate once a month, there's no use in, getting Massey Poloni or ABR coax. Get the cheap stuff. But if you activate all the time, you may want to invest into something better. It's all about what you want to put into your hobby. If you're not going to be out there all the time, just get on the air, get what you want,
And it's not that a cheap battery or cheap coax performs the job better than a Bioenno battery or Messium Poloni or ABR. It's the longevity of it.
Mhm.
So if you're
Right.
if you're constantly taking your coax on and off, coiling it, uncoiling it, coiling it, uncoiling it, that's where cheap coax is going to bite you in the long run.
Exactly.
Well put.
Exactly.
But yeah, the people. I think you started off the stream saying something along the lines of some people say that they run an activation on a 20 amp hour battery and get 50, 60 contacts in their batteries dead. I don't understand how, unless it's a bad battery.
Yeah.
I mean, I can run all weekend on one 30 amp battery. Let's say I average 175, 200, per night that I go out, and that one battery lasts me all weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I
So
can do.
I don't understand how people are getting 50 to 60 QSOs and killing a 20 amp hour battery.
I can do 5, 6 spark rows easily. And I'm not talking about speed rows. I'm just talking about 5 or 6 sparks in a day and not use a 20 amp hour battery.
I mean, now, granted, if you're, I guess, on a dead band, maybe on a bad time to be on a band, and you're endlessly calling CQ, sure, maybe. I mean, I could see that, but that's a lot of juice to run through. I mean, 20 amp hours that's a lot. That's a decent amount of battery.
That wouldn't be happening if you were spotting yourself in our Discord.
Shameless plug time.
I was gonna say if you go out and you call CQ for 4 hours and you only get 50 hours, you need to go right now and sign up for my Discord and start asking questions in that Discord, because you, my friend, are doing something very, very wrong. Even PP Man can do that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because you'll get more contacts just spotting in our Discord, not even on POTA than that. So.
I can go out. I can go out at 1:30 in the morning Eastern time.
Yeah.
And get 30 or 40 contacts in 15 minutes, 15, 20 minutes and go back home.
Sorry, I did that. Sorry. I got you. Hold on, I'll get back to this. Yeah, all right. So that's about my average draw. Yeah, right there too. About an hour. I think my best in an hour is a little over 200, but let's not go there because that was at Montesano when I absolutely got slammed that last Sunday. Average an hour, I'm going to say about that, maybe about 100, 110 an hour. And I use about the same 4.5 to 5 amp hour. So yeah, these people that are killing 20 amp hours, I mean, I don't know what you're doing wrong. Maybe you hook the negative side to the wrong spot. I don't know.
Dude, I used a 20 amp hour for like my first
I did
800 or 900 activations.
Yeah.
And I killed it one time. And that's when I hadn't charged it in a while, when I was out camping. And I just got done with an activation and I was getting ready to charge it. And all the YouTubers show up to do an activation. I said, there's my gear. And they start activating on it. And then Richard plugs his 75 or his 705 in it to charge his 705. And they finally killed the battery. Out of 800 or 900 activations, that is the only time that battery died.
Yep.
So,
just real quick, we just hit the hour mark. I want to put this back out there. If you haven't gotten the Alcatraz Island Park, she's activating it this Friday, December 1st. She's going for a kilo. I forget. James, put her call sign in there. I forget what her call sign is.
Yeah. It'll be recognizable on the spot page. She doesn't have far to go. I think I remember 270 something ish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for her kilos. So
I think this is like her third year, is what James said.
They go out every year. They actually interviewed here on the show after they did the first year. So
and
nice older couple. her husband's her antenna guy that goes out with her. But
Yeah.
cool, really cool people. And other than that, we are going to wrap up and head over to Happy Hour After Dark. If you are not a Patreon and you want to go in Happy Hour Dark, head over to Patreon, sign up for that free trial, and then message one of the 3 people on this stream in Discord, and we will get you set up to where you can join that. It's real simple. It's free to try out, and if you don't like it after 7 days, get rid of it. But other than that, tomorrow I have a very important video coming out. It's basically a news video about my channel, some upcoming things, and make sure and check that out. It's 4 o'clock drop. Other than that, I'll be doing POTA every day and streaming on Sundays and Wednesdays. You guys got anything else?
No, I think I'm gonna get another 100 amp hour and put them in parallel.
Nope. See everybody in the after chat.
See everybody in after chat. Bye. 73.
73, guys.